I would like to start my online business. Oh, and I understood that I should have a consultation of marketing specialist. And I decided to invite him for the interview. So we are starting. And I would like to remind you that this interview is one of the informative ways that help you monetize your expertise online. Introwise is all about inspiration, tech, and business. Would you like to start your online business, or are you already running a business on the internet? What does it take not to miss the opportunity to hit the market as a solopreneur? I would like to present you our specialist who will tell us all about it. With us is specialist in marketing, director of marketing in company Work Commons, Nick Mezentsev. Nick, I'm really happy that you are with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, that's amazing that you just found time to talk about marketing. So, first of all, I would like to ask you, what does it take to market your business online? So, what we should know first of all?
I would say that it all depends on what type of business you have, right? Because if you have business to consumer, there's one way to market, and if it's business to business, it's a different strategy.
Yeah, but if we just try to think about business to business, as I understand, for example, for a solopreneur, it's important to find an audience, because an audience it's just 40-50% of success. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean that sounds about right. And so I think that if you're an entrepreneur, right, and it's just solo practice and you're a consultant and you want to be able to market yourself in a way, usually those people that do that are consultants, they do not have huge understanding of marketing. They also do not have lots of funds to spend on digital advertising. And so if they are business to business, and many consultants are, like a lot of the business consultants are usually business to business, then LinkedIn is one of those best ways to do that, of course. But one thing to know about it, you will go on Google today and you'll probably try to Google and ask, what is LinkedIn a good way for business to business marketing, right? And it probably was 5 years ago, like 6 years ago. It's probably a really good way to market business to business. But today, unfortunately, it is so saturated. It is incredibly saturated place that if you try to go by yourself, if you get the premium account for $100 a month from LinkedIn, you get access to all these job titles, all these people, the company sizes. So you can really find the person that really needs you. You can really find them. But the problem is there's so many other people trying to do the same thing.
So we just should understand that we need to have a niche, and you must be specified, not just generalist, but you must find the things that will distinguish you from others. So how a solopreneur should do it?
Usually, you cannot really start with nothing. Like, you have to have some kind of funds that you can invest into digital advertising. That's if you do not have influence. Now, if you are an influential person, or if you know somebody who is very influential at one of the companies, you can start by creating partnerships with those businesses. Now, if it's business to consumer, then you can pretty much start with nothing. There are many marketplaces. To give it one example is Fiverr, right? For example, if I'm a designer, if I'm a software developer, if I know how to make good logos, or if I create lyrics for songs, I mean, no matter what it is, you can go and offer your services right there. There are people looking for them all the time. To give you an example, the situation in Ukraine, the war going on, right? Many people lost their jobs. And so one of my friends from Ukraine, he reached out to me and he said, look, I'm out of job now. Do you know anybody who needs who needs a designer? Right? And I first didn't have anything to tell him, but then I realized that I am hiring people for little gigs. They're called gigs because it's like little jobs that people can do from Fiverr. And I told him to go there. And so there's this guy who doesn't have a business. He has a good skill. He doesn't have an LLC, a corporation. As you said, it's just his own kind of like practice, right? He doesn't even have a website. He doesn't know how to do marketing, but he needed to be able to make money. So he went on Fiverr and published his portfolio of work. And so imagine somebody with zero experience in marketing was able to get 5 clients within a month and make over $1,000.
I mean that a lot of entrepreneurs, they really would like that they could be found in Google, for example, yes, and
Right.
They need this, as I'm right, SEO optimization, for example, how they could manage to do this.
Now, if you're a consultant, right, then I would highly recommend going to places where consultants place their services. Again, a marketplace. It's the easiest way to do it. Now, you need a website and optimize it for SEO, right? If you're selling physical goods, you can't just go to some marketplace, and sell them. You can in the United States, like you can go to Amazon or eBay. But if you're not in the United States, there's some other place where you can do that. But if you want your brand to be recognized, right? If you want that brand recognition, then obviously you have to start by making a website. Now,
yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Now the thing is that if you're not aware of how to do graphic design, how to make a website, the easiest thing for you would be to use either Webflow or Wix.com. They already have templates. You pretty much just have to put your logo in there. Now, when it comes down to logo, a lot of people, they make a website, but what they forget is that not Wix or Webflow, they cannot make a logo for you, right? So if you're really on the budget and you have no money to spend on the logo, use one of the online logo creators, or you just have to type in your company name. You have to type in what business is about, and it's going to give you some logo options. And it will give you a quick little guide on how to optimize it for your website. You will not be able to rank on the top right away. This is why I am saying go to marketplaces. Go to people that you know. Because doing SEO in a highly competitive market with low budget is nearly impossible today. You need, like, if you don't have content writers, a team, right, and if this is a very highly competitive market, it will be very hard for you to rank your website all the way on the top.
What about organic search for example, your website? So how could I manage to build my website so people could easily find me?
So here's the thing to realize. You have to go on Google and Google the term that you think people are going to be looking for in order to find your business, right? To solve their problem. And so if you see lots and lots of websites with the same term, if you see lots of advertisings for that term, I'm not saying don't even think about it, right? Sure, go ahead, optimize your website for those keywords, create the title of the website that has something, unique that's people are going to be looking for, of course. But overall, if it's very highly competitive, do not focus on SEO. If it's just you yourself, right? But if it's not highly competitive, then make sure that you create an additional page, right, on your website with content that talks about solving the unique problem that your business does. Because let's say we call our website Apple. Well, let's say we're apple.com, right? But let's say nobody knows about apple.com. So let's say nobody knows what apple.com is. So do you think when people are looking for apples, people are going to be finding your website, right? No. So unless somebody is looking specifically for apple.com, no one is ever going to find it organically. Does it make sense? So you have to create an additional page that talks about some technology that can solve it. So for example, many people could be looking the best smartphone, or the best smartphone in 2022. But your website, the main page, is called apple.com. It's not called the best smartphone. So you have to create an additional page, title it the best smartphone in 2022, for example, right? And write unique content with those keywords that are going to be related to the topic there. So you can rank that page. But many people are trying to rank their homepage high on Google. There is no point. Your domain is unique, and usually your business name is what your domain is as well. So when somebody is looking for your website, if they know who you are and if they know what the website is, you'll be number one. So you'll be number one no matter what, because you have a unique domain and you have a unique business name, right? So it's like saying nixapples.com. The domain can only be one, nixapples.com. There cannot be a second or third domain like that. Does it make sense? So
Yeah.
you have to sum it up, create an additional page and title it in whatever keyword it is that you want people to enter on Google to solve that problem. And you'll have higher chances of ranking that than your homepage. Because if you go to trends.google.com and you type in those keywords, like that article, right, or whatever the topic, and you see that this is very popular, but then you go and Google yourself and you cannot find anybody, there's no supply, right? So the demand is high, but no one is providing any articles about that. That's gold. You have higher chances of being able to go there and rank for it.
Should I concentrate on, for example, one or two types of marketing places? For example, I should choose Facebook or and Instagram for advertising, for market my product or service, or I should just try to do it as much as possible and choose more types of marketing.
Yeah, sure. I can tell you that. So if you have business to business company, do not go to Facebook or Instagram. Not that it's a waste of time, it's just that your success rate is going to be very small. Will you have success? Yes, you will, but it's going to be very tiny because you're focusing on businesses. People come to Instagram and Facebook as individuals. They go to those places for themselves. They do not go there for the company they currently work for, right? So when you go to Instagram or Facebook, that's not business to consumer most of the time. Now, where would you prefer to use Instagram for your social media? That is if you are selling a visual, physical product. So, it could be makeup, could be bicycles, could be anything, right? Something visual where you can either have a video of the product or you can have an image of the product, right? Because think of, what do you see on Instagram? You see images and you see videos, right? Those are the two types of things you see.
If you're a consultant, Nika, what if I consultant or I just do any services, just like designer or what else, psychologist, what I should prefer?
Right. Again, you see, like you said, you're a consultant, but then there's one thing, right? So if you do psychology, can you make a video of your service? You probably could. It would be a very expensive video, right? Because it's like a huge kind of like selling advertising thing. But it's so much easier to go to Instagram if you're a designer, right? Let's say you design clothing. You go on Instagram and you can post pictures of that clothing. Now, if you go on Facebook, really? Like, is that really what people are into? It would not hurt to do both for that kind of person. But if they do psychology, again, Instagram could be a thing if you already have a huge following there. But let's assume you have 0 following in Instagram and 0 following on Facebook. I would start with Facebook. You know what I mean? Because that's probably more towards that audience, because you can write stuff and post things without having to include an image or a video, because it's just a thing you're doing.
A lot of now experts say that, for example, content marketing is the most important for market use successfully. What do you think?
Right, I agree. Content marketing definitely can get you out of there, and it can help you rank on Google higher for those specific keywords. One thing to realize that it's not an easy thing to start with. So if you're a solo consultant, let's say, right, you can sure thing try to create a blog and just write an article, but make sure that it's unique and that that problem has not been solved, right? That it's not a very highly competitive market. Because if it is, unless you're a professional marketer, right? I'm not giving advice right now to marketers. I'm giving advice right now to just normal people that have their own practices, right? That, they're trying to make it. So content marketing is only going to be successful for them if they're good at writing content, right? If they just know that they're good at writing. And second of all, if it's not highly competitive already on Google, think about what you're going to write about, think about the title, and then go to Google and Google the title. If you see tons of articles already on that, don't even do it. But also go to trends.google.com and check, are people even looking for that?
Also, I would like to mention that some marketing experts recommend integrating SEO and advertising strategies together.
Now, the thing is that if we're talking about solo entrepreneurs, right, they have to choose which one. And based on our conversation that we just had with you, right, as I've explained, if you have the cash to spend, it never hurts to advertise. Now, people will probably think sometimes of Elon Musk and Tesla and how he says, we did not spend a single dollar in advertising. And that is completely true. So if you can make a unique product, right, and then you can make the product you can make the excitement so good, you can make it succeed. But one thing to remember, you have to have influence. All the influence that's done by Tesla is pretty much through Twitter, by Elon Musk and the millions of followers that he has, right? If you do not have that influence, then just try by making a really good product that people can talk about. And the word of mouth is a very strong thing. Word of mouth can require no website, word of mouth can require no content and nothing else, right? And that is when you know that you have something unique.
So if I have impact and I have a brand, I don't need marketing.
No. So I'm saying it's not even impact, it's a good product, right? So you either have to have a good product that people can just talk about, and by them talking about it, we'll create the impact pretty much, right? Because they'll start talking about it, will create brand recognition within the people. Just
to make conclusion, what we should say, what recommendation we should give solopreneurs to be successful in marketing themselves.
There's not one thing to remember. There's not one thing they can do to be successful. It all depends on their practice, their consulting service. It all depends on what they do.
And last but not least, Introwise brand questions for you. So it's just very short questions and very short answers from you. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
How did you find your first client?
Google Ads.
Okay. Why did you become a marketing specialist?
Because I was able to find my first client through Google Ads.
Best business advice from you?
Focus on your product.
Okay. Best time management advice?
Invest into yourself as well, not just on everything that people want and your work wants. Invest time into exercise and things that you think are not going to be bringing you results right away, or unproductive, I'm not going to achieve this, I'm not going to make X amount of items, or something like that. Invest time into yourself by relaxing or by doing sports, because they'll pay off.
At what age did you start to earn money online?
I was 13 years old.
Okay, very young. And do you have an Introwise account?
I do.
So do you use it?
I'm not a consultant, but if I was a consultant, I would definitely use it, because it's very easy to, have people pay you for your consultation service, right? When, and have a meeting like this and and track it all. But I'm not a consultant. I'm a marketing director, so I don't charge people anything. I get paid every 2 weeks, no matter what. So.
But what do you think is good about Introwise? So just so I could pay, okay, but what else? What do you think about this product? Just your vision.
Well, as I said, right, I think that if I have a practice, like if I'm a lawyer, if I have a practice like that, it's easier for an individual to not keep track of everything in an Excel spreadsheet or on a piece of paper, how much time I spent with this individual or that individual, but have sessions like this and manage your time as well better, because then you know exactly who's going to be on my calendar at what part of the day. So again, it's just easier time management, easier client management, and that's also a payment gateway that I can use. So it's all in one, pretty much. I don't have to. If I was a consultant, I wouldn't need to use anything else.
Thank you, Nick, for this interview. It was really very interesting. I hope that our audience appreciate it. And thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Nish.